Hey, what is up, my lovely family, my lovely folks, lovely people in the stream? How are you guys? What's up? Let's open this with they want to open this with a giveaway, guys? I sure would love to open this with a giveaway, but before we do that, of course, you know the drill, guys. Hit that like button, tickle that, and then we could just, keep on sharing the stream and keep on chatting for a little bit there. Wake night bought up, and we should have a good time right now. Right? Gonna have a good time today. So who among you are excited? Let me know on chat. We're gonna give away NFT airdrop, and of course at the end of the session we are gonna give away an alpha pass. All right, alpha pass up for grabs. It's around 0.1 0.012 ETH, so that is quite a hefty giveaway for today. What's up? So welcome to the stream, Roby, Dominice, PC Geek, Arzosa, I'm so stoked, says Dominice, Leo, Rehano says G, Tara, giveaway boss, Joshua Uzi, good afternoon, Leo, Rehano, me, Mitsuki Ackerman, late, PC Geek, me, amazing knowledge, let's go. So hype, this is gonna be big, says Bromo Cryptolade. Robbie G says ako. Brial Serrano late din. Ron Gerald Estancia, good afternoon. PC, yes, hello. Royette, hello. Robbie G. When Alpha, PC Geek, kain na po guys. Late din konti, says Brial Serrano. Keep that like button hot, guys. I hope you could help me out with that. Corchan says, what's up? How are you? How are you? Hello from LOV Discord. Oh yes, nice. Jose Rafael Presbitero. Keep that like button hot, guys. Probably we could get 25 likes, right? Do you think we could get 25 likes? What's up, Jo Marie? What's up? What's up? How are you guys? So I hope you're you're having a great day. Let's go and rock this show. Okay, so this game, by the way, is gonna be exciting. It's gonna be, interesting. In my opinion, it's one of the quality games that I've seen so far that is brewing up right now in the P2E space. So I'm sure that you guys are gonna love this as well. So John Marie says, shout out. Boom says, hello, Rondol Scandal. I'm one that told them to talk to you. Oh, thank you, Rondol Scandal. Dominic, smash the like button. John Marie, hello. Shout out, hello. Got Nolly, hello. Sherwin, hello. Game Bits, easy 25. Yes, let's go for the 25 likes, guys, before I call on our guest. Let's give him some 25 likes there. Should be nice. Should be easy for us, yeah? Smash the like button. And if you want to go slow and you want to go nimble there, you could just tickle it a little bit, right? Start our adventure. The Venari awaits, says Dominus. Let's go, guys. 2 more likes. What's up? What's up? In order to join the giveaway, by the way, all you have to do is keep on liking, keep on chatting there. Nightbot detects when you do chat, and everybody who's able to chat, they'll be automatically included in the giveaway. Guys, palike naman dyan, palambing, yes. Grayart, good noon, gandang hapon. So I'm just gonna share this stream as well to my Telegram group here for a little bit, if you don't mind. Okay. So let's do a quick shout out, guys. Everybody who wants a quick shout out, put in chat, I'm ready for Venari. I'm ready for Venari. So we'll be asking the technical side of the game, right? Just like, is it gonna be for mobile? Is it gonna be for PC and things like that? So put in chat, I'm ready for Venari. We're gonna read your names out there and then do a quick giveaway, and then I'm gonna call on our guest right now. This is gonna be fun, guys. So ready your questions as well, okay? So let's see. PH News Trending says shout out. Long Ski, gandang hapon. PC Geek, guys, palike. Gray Art 10, good noon. LA Gaming, ngayon lang ako nakabalik, Sir Dex, ha, busy farming. It's okay, LA Gaming, welcome back. Mitzi Noreen, pang 25 ako, boom, ho. Jose Rafael Presbytero, Lenopix, Sexy Voice. Sherwin Jr. says here, wait, that's crazy. My chat just jumped. Ganda ng graphics, says Sherwin. Robbie G. BSC, papogi ka ng papogi, Sir Dex. Lahat tayo. Amazing knowledge, yeah, boom, pwede sa mobile, amazing knowledge, I'm hot. Ryujin Arcano, let's go, nood habang breeding ng Pegaxi. Alvin Sebastian Patambay, Decipher Zero Channel, shout out to Team YGG. Prof. Leon, hello po, magandang hapon. Brom Crypto Liad, I'm ready for Venari, baby, ready for Venari, says Roger. Decipher says ready for Venari. LA Gaming, ready for Venari. PC Geek, I'm ready for Venari. Brielle Serrano, I'm ready for Venari. Greyheart 10, ready for Venari. Pros Leon, ready for Venari. Longsky, I'm ready for Venari. Eric Gabriel, I'm ready for Venari. Arzos, I'm ready for Venari. Dominates, I'm ready for Venari. LFG. Royette says, shout out idol, ready. Sherwin says, ready for Venari. Jewom says, ready for Venari. Mitsuki says, ready for Venari. Drew, let's go Venari. PC Geek, I'm ready for Venari. Eric Gabriel, I'm ready for Venari. Azos, again, ready for Venari. Game Bits, ready for Venari. PC Geek, ready for Venari. Drew, Legendary Collector wants you to collect. Eric Gabriel, I'm ready for Venari. Gay Art. Uy, ganda po ng scenery, Kaido. Magaling BSC po yan. Waiting sa pamasko ni Omniverse, Sir Dex. Amazing knowledge. Bawi-bawi ka, Sir Dex, sa Eternal to the Moon sila. Yes, LA Gaming. I'm ready for Venari, says Cheryl. I'm ready for Venari, says Mitzi. May TG po sila. Yes, Kaido. They have here, they have Discord, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. They are more active there. I'm ready for Venari, PCK Alejandro. Good noon, sir. Exciting for Venari. Boom. I'm ready for Venari, SF Albert. Longsky, PC Geek, boom, all of them are saying ready for Venari. So without further ado, let's do that one giveaway for people right now. So I'm gonna shut off this looping thing and let's draw our first winner. Our first airdrop winner is Drew. Drew LOV, congratulations for that winning. And all you have to do is click, put in chat !contact and you will see the contact details wherein you need to send your details to me. Okay, send me your wallet address. Let me know that you want the Venari NFT drop. Anyway, if you're ready, guys, I'm so ready as well. I'm gonna call on our guest right now. This should be exciting because, we love to play. And of course, when we love to play, we love to play to earn as well. So, without further ado, I'm gonna be calling on our guest right now. Welcome to the show. Jason, what's up? What's up?
Hey, Dexter. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, of course. I'm so excited. I don't know, have you done a face AMA before in your crowd yet?
I don't think they've seen it, but I've done a couple. That are more low-key that I haven't really shared to many people. But yeah, I think most of them haven't seen me.
Oh, so it's an honor, by the way, that you actually, you decided to do a face AMA for us today.
Yeah, I'm totally open to it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Anyway, welcome to the show. I'll just call you Jason, or do you want to be called how they call you in the community?
Yeah, Jason's fine.
All right. Cool. So, by the way, guys, this is Legends of Venari, and I've been talking with Jason, and it's been quite, a few weeks already, right, Jason? Since we were planning to, have something for Venari, we've been preparing for this. We've been trying to, prepare a good show for you. And right now, Jason, just to open this show, can you tell us a little bit about you? In relation to, what have you been doing in the past outside of NFT, And are you a gamer just like us?
Yeah, for sure. Like I love games. I've been a gamer my whole life. Just like playing. I guess like starting from the beginning was just like Pokemon, right? Like playing the very first Pokemon games. I think Emerald's my favorite. And then yeah, just going into like MapleStory, RuneScape, a lot of these like other mainstream games. Most recently, like my favorite game's been like League of Legends and TFT.
Mm.
Yeah,
Teamfight Tactics.
yeah.
All right. I used to play that game while I was a baker in my bakery. I started a bakery business, and I had to live in the bakery, like literally. Shower in the bakery,
Wow.
sleep in the bakery. I did that for how many months? And one of the things that I would do just to pass time is play Teamfight Tactics. But sometimes I get interrupted because somebody would buy from the store. So I gotta rush,
Yeah.
get the bread, give it to them. So it's crazy, crazy, crazy. Anyway, let's talk about the background or just a little bit of backstory. How did Legends of Venari come into being? How did it start?
Yeah. So I guess like the first kind of starting point for Legends of Venari goes way back until like 2019. So that's kind of my journey into crypto. I was kind of like starting out with Bitcoin. I bought it in like 2018. I bought like $8 worth. It went up to 100, and I was just like, okay, what is this? So then I was like, okay, maybe there's something else to it. So then I tried to look into Ethereum. Right, that was back in 2019, and that's when like CryptoKitties was really hot. Um, I'm a developer, so I love to like build things. I've always loved to like build like cool projects.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my past, I've built like so many different like apps. I'm an iOS developer, like full time, and LOV first started back in 2019 as kind of like a proof of concept. I really wanted to do something different, something unique besides like CryptoKitties, like this kind of like breeding aspect to it. So I thought like maybe an RPG seemed fun. So I kind of like um, thought about how I might be able to create something interesting. I created a bunch of like blockchain games too in the past. They all kind of didn't do as well. NFTs weren't a thing back in 2019, right? It's not as hype as it is now. But it was a really good foundation for me in terms of what I can do with blockchain gaming. It kind of taught me like what's possible, what kind of tokenization works, how decentralized should it be, what kind of like user experience should the user expect, right? And I feel like since 2019 to 2021, my journey has grown, right? I've built a ton of like protocols, like decentralized messaging protocols. I've worked with consensus. I've done a whole bunch of startups too. So it's just
So
like
with
these
these
kinds of
startups that you did, you were like part of another team, like they hired you to do this?
yeah. So
Outsourced. Okay.
well, I was more like I did a couple like founding projects, right? One of them was, for example, we did autographs before autograph.io, right? Just like being able to autograph NFTs. We made a protocol for that. We talked with the ENS team about it. We talked with the MetaMask guys about that. As well as most recently, one of our projects was being able to allow Twitch streamers to mint their Twitch clips. That was kind of what we wanted to do. We weren't really familiar with the Twitch space, so we couldn't really like get a hold of really like a lot of Twitch streamers. I remember talking to Bryson about it, and then yeah, it ended up didn't going, or it's just like there wasn't enough like demand for that kind of thing in the space at the moment. So it was kind of like if you remember, like Jack Dorsey like was like selling their tweet. It was kind of like Twitch clips. So it's kind of similar. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like my journey, right? I love to build smart contracts. I love to like build like interesting things. So that's kind of like where LOV first started, right? It's taking this idea back in 2019, all of my experiences back then, and then like combining it all into something that I genuinely want to play.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
if I read between the lines, your background as a guy is that you're a creator and you develop things. And whether or not you're developing it for yourself or for others, you just love doing it. You just love
Yeah, I just
developing.
love to build
Yeah.
things, right? Yeah,
So
yeah.
it reminds me again of my bakery story. You know, when I was starting my bakery, of course, I didn't know how to bake. I just hired somebody to teach me how to bake. My wife does baking as well. But when we were trying to figure out what kind of breads we're gonna put out in display, I would like bake and bake and bake different kind of stuff, you know, even though I'm not gonna be selling them. You just have to bake, create, bake, create, and from there
Yeah.
select. And from all of those baking sessions, I could just say that the experience really taught me a lot, and it made me, you know, better coming from nothing, knowing nothing about baking. And then, you know, it's like going inside the spirit room in Dragon Ball, right? You he went there to train for a lot, and he just trained, and now after that, you know, he goes out of that spirit room, and yeah, bringing in new skills. So that's the vibe I'm feeling and I'm getting around your story is, you know, you just started building and building and building. You just love
Yeah,
what you do.
yeah.
That's
I'm
pretty
just like,
nice.
I'm not afraid of failure. Like I've had so many like projects fail, and I think it's great learning experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
If something doesn't work, I kind of like think of it as a like learning lesson, and we like kind of pivot, right? Where we're totally okay with it failing. So that's kind of
I
like,
love that you know, I love that psychology there, that you know, you're not afraid to fail, but still you want to, you know, we want to do good. That's at the
of
very,
course,
you know,
yeah, that's
of
the goal,
course we're
right?
still competitive as gamers, you know.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Anyway, talking about the games, because I've been looping the gameplay over at our you know, for our audience right now. And the question right now, Jason, is can you give me the top games that inspired you, that you borrowed inspiration from when creating Legends of Venari?
Yeah, yeah. I think at first my initial like game that I was trying to emulate was this Facebook game. It was called Mouse Hunt. I'm not sure if you
Mouse.
ever played or like if anyone's ever played it, but Mouse Hunt was like a game I played for the longest time on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
It was super simple. You just had a bait and a trap, and you check up on it over time, and then you just get a whole list of like mouse that appear, and that was the entire game. So that was like my main inspiration, because like as you go around like catching these like mouse, like you could like get better rigs, better like stuff over time. But of course you can't like do anything with the mouse, right? You could just like see in your collection, and like, I mean, that's just like gold in game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, of course, like that was like our initial inspiration. We kind of pivoted around that idea. So taking inspiration from like Pokemon, taking inspiration from a lot of like different concepts, and then create something unique out of it, making something that feels familiar, but also like has a twist with it, right? And of course, like making sure it's balanced for the blockchain ecosystem. That's kind of like where we are going with it.
Mm-hmm. Mouse Hunt and like Pokemon, things like that. So people are really enjoying the looks. So I'm reading the chat right now, Jason, and this game is looking really awesome. Matthews, I'm sorry, he says he was going to sleep but had to stop by. Welcome to the
Nice to
show.
hear.
Yeah. So are we gonna need like a high-end PC here, or is this gonna be available on mobile? Because you've been developing mobile, right?
So it is, sorry, it is going to be a browser-based game. So
Mm-hmm.
everything will be able to be played from the browser.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been doing a lot of optimizations around this. So making sure like the rendering for like the scenes work on mobile very well. It works fine for me in terms of like running on my iPhone 10, like the scenes at least. So I feel like there's no issues with mobile. But I think we definitely need to do a couple more optimizations. For
Mm-hmm.
example, like make less polygons, making sure like the scene loads faster, stuff like that. But of course, we just want to launch the game, right? That's our main
Mm-hmm.
priority. We want something playable.
Mm-hmm. So right now I'm actually showing them in the screen, like in your Twitter, right? You have this models of your monsters here. That's just
Mm.
turning like that. So I'm showing them on the screen. Can you tell me about the love and the work that came into designing this
Oh
beautiful
yeah.
monster models? Yeah.
This actually took such a long time, we really want to focus on quality with LOV. So going back in terms of like the steps in terms of designing LOV, the first thing that we did was come up with a concept art for creatures, right? So I had a couple of artists that I reached out to, and now they're like full-time employees for us, right? So these kind of people really came up with like the core concept. I really want something low poly, but also wanted like the glowing eyes kind of effect, kind of taking inspiration from a couple of different projects and trying to make it as unique as possible towards our game. I really gave them two requirements, really. One is just like glowing eyes. That's like one of our key design aspects, and one of them is like the low poly aesthetic. And then we just went with that. So we did a couple of iterations. We kind of went, sometimes it went more of like monster looking, sometimes it was like a bit too cute. So then we kind of had like a happy medium. And this took the longest time. This took about like a month, 2 months to like iterate and design like just the first creature. So our first creature is the Follicry, and it's the rat, the kind of squirrel creature with like the leaf tail. And we spent so much time like thinking about the concept of it. Afterwards, it was a lot more smooth sailing. Once we had like one design, it's so easy to like expand upon that, right? But just getting like the core foundation, and it wasn't really just the creatures themselves, right? You see like the environment, the UI, the just like the lore itself. It's a whole world that we're really building, and that's what's taking a lot of time. The game itself, it's super easy to build, right? But putting it in terms of like an actual world, making it feel like these creatures actually belong, and making sure like there's a connection with the audience, I think that's important.
All right, all right. I mean, people are really saying in chat that they appreciate the art, bro. You guys did an amazing job doing and taking your time to, you know, create this beautiful artwork for people, and I'm just amazed at what I'm seeing personally as well, because I don't know if you remember when we were discussing, you know, backstage, just talking about your
Yeah.
project, and I was like, wow, you know, how did you guys do this timeline wise? Some of the triple A feels from the other games that I've been reviewing, they're like, we're gonna have to wait for how many months before they release the game and things like that, right?
Yeah.
But right now, timeline wise, you just are like speeding through things. So here's the question, Jason. I see here in your site that it says here free to play. So how does this work? How does this free to play model work?
Yeah. So I think it's like a free to play with an asterisk. What we mean by free to play is once you have an alpha pass. So if someone lent you that alpha pass, or if you bought it, every single like gameplay aspect is free. For example, there's no transaction costs. Everything is off chain. For example, even like trading, we're going to make sure that there's the least amount of gas possible. So any kind of like capturing of these creatures, that is free, right? So what we mean by free to play is essentially is the idea that as long as you have an alpha pass, as long as you have a base pass, whatever pass you have, it's your ticket into the game. And any kind of transactions that you do within the game is essentially free. There's no like hidden costs. Everyone's going to be in the same like square, right? It's just like everyone has the same playing field.
All right. So with this alpha pass, you mentioned if somebody lent it to you. So does this mean that this is kind of the scholarship thing as well? This would work in that way.
Yeah, exactly. So how a pass works in more detail is the idea that when you activate a pass, you can activate it for your account, or you can activate it for someone else's account. And that just puts their account or your account on a 30-day cooldown, as well as the pass on a 30-day cooldown. So you still own the pass. You could sell the pass if you wanted to. But the idea is like once you sell it, like that person who got the pass still has that cooldown, right? They can't activate it for someone else. So that's kind of like our idea of how lending works. It's the ability to be able to activate an account for someone else on their behalf.
And it has a like a 30-day cooldown.
Yeah, so that's essentially just to prevent people from creating like a million bots, like a million accounts, and just like activating a whole bunch of accounts at once, and then like just playing on every single account, right? We want to make sure that there's some fairness involved. Yeah.
So if I understand this correctly, for example, I have an alpha pass. I activate my personal account first, correct? And then it does the 30-day cooldown. And after 30 days, I could activate another account?
Yeah. So what happens is afterwards, your account gets deactivated, right? You can't like catch creatures anymore. So then you can activate your account too. So you could still play the game if you want to, or you could like activate it for someone else, or you could sell it. Yeah.
So basically, at a given time, one game account would be the most, the activated one, and the previous one will be deactivated. Like
yeah. Essentially, one user per pass. That's kind of the goal.
Cool. Yeah. Anyway, guys, for those who wants a pass, stay until the end of the show, because Jason here is gonna give one alpha pass. Correct, Jason? Right? At the end, we're gonna give away one alpha pass. So that's really, really nice. No sale will be in early December with gameplay launch. Okay, let's talk about the gameplay. Gameplay launch. Before we talk about the economics, before we talk about the stability of the crypto side of things, let's talk about the schedule for the game. When can we expect to start diving into the beautiful world of Venari? I'm personally, I'm so excited.
Biggest question. I think that's the biggest question. In terms of our timeline, originally what we said was late December. Right now or late November. Right now it's November 25th. So it is late November. But the kind of idea that we had behind a late November launch was we wanted to build something that we weren't really proud of releasing. So for example, we didn't really have like the cool like 3D scenes. We had like a very basic kind of success and failure animation. So what we would be putting out in that late November launch wasn't something that we wanted to be proud of, right? So we kind of went back to the drawing board. We kind of like thought to ourselves, okay, how can we make this like pop? How can we make our first impression count, right? So we kind of revamped our systems. We added a lot of scope, and I'd be happy to share with you like what we've been working on. I'll share my screen later.
You gotta give us leaks.
Yeah, I'll give you some leaks of what we're working on. Yeah, but yeah, it's a lot more like interesting to like play and feel compared to what we were promising before. So that's kind of like why we're going with more early December launch. I can't really give like a straightforward answer in terms of like when the game will launch right now, because we're doing a whole bunch of like integration right now. There's a whole bunch of moving pieces, and it's really hard to say exactly like, okay, is it 2 weeks, 3 weeks out? It's hard to say right now. So I would say like an early December launch is what to expect, and we'll do our best to make sure we meet that goal.
All right, so we'll be able to play really, really soon. Guys, my birthday is on December 7. That's an early December. I hope for my birthday or anytime soon my birthday, I get to play this.
Your birthday gift.
Anyway, Drew LOV, I hope you have sent me your wait. I don't know if Drew is even part of your team, so
he's part of our team. You should just
I should re-roll, right?
Yeah,
I should re-roll.
Yeah.
I just realized, wait, LOV.
Yeah, well,
so this means
you talked to him before.
Let's re-roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Filippo Garigali, you won that NFT airdrop. So exclamation point contact here. It just dawned on me like, okay, wait.
Yeah. He's not allowed.
Okay.
Charger.
All right. So congratulations, Filippo Garigali. Exclamation point contact, and you will be shown a URL there. Just click on it. So we can be expecting something this December. I'm so excited. But let's dive in a little bit about the lore.
Hmm.
Where
Uh,
can you tell us? Be a storyteller for a little bit. Just imagine, we bumped into each other in a bar, and imagine it's D&D night, right? Dungeons and
oh no.
Dragons night,
Okay,
and
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's time for you to. Okay, I have this new campaign. It's called Legends of Venari. What do you say?
Oh, okay. Actually, I can't answer that question. I'm actually the worst at like telling the lore.
Okay,
This is why
okay,
we have a lore person to handle this. I'm pretty embarrassed
okay.
about that. Like, I read the lore, I understand it, but I can't really like explain it in full detail.
Anyway, just the setting though. You could just give us the setting. Where does this story happen? At what time? I mean, what age? And what are these monsters for? Just a background, so
uh,
we know what world we're gonna be playing at.
yeah, yeah. So I would say I can't answer that. I briefly glimpsed at it, and I'm the worst at it. So
Okay,
I think
okay.
I'm getting called down in terms of like I don't read the lore, and yeah, yeah. But
Oh.
what I can say is like we have a really dedicated lore and game design team.
Mm-hmm.
They work so hard on the game design and lore to make sure it all looks and feels connected in one. For example, in terms of like our area, in terms of like the Venari that you're catching, in terms of like the, I'll talk about this later, but in terms of like the constellations that the Venari are associated with, it all ties back into the lore and all ties back into the game. And I think I value that extremely heavily. Um, our lore person is actually really fantastic. She's from the Philippines, so there's a lot of um,
Oh, really?
kind
She's
of
from the Philippines, the one who writes the
yeah,
lore.
yeah. So
That's
a lot
amazing.
of the like Venari, like that's her name, or like not her name, but like that's what she created.
Mm-hmm.
All the creatures' names, all the descriptions. Um, it just so happened that she's from the Philippines. We kind of like didn't expect um, like such a big Philippine community, and she doesn't even know much about blockchain too. So it just kind of worked
Mm-hmm.
out. But yeah, like if you like take a look at some of our like bait, like one of it is named like gatas. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like we
Ah.
have a lot of like like Philippine like influences that just so happens like to be from our lore writer.
Mm-hmm. I like that. So that makes the lore more interesting, in my opinion. Of course, as a Filipino, there's a little bit of bias there.
Yeah.
I wanna dive into what fellow Filipino has done content-wise, because people here are saying that the lore is amazing. They're saying that the lore is great and the content team makes so much amazing lore.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah, no
guys,
doubt.
you guys must including me, of course, we must check this out. And I want to dive in really once the game comes out, right? So, anyway, Jason, so here's one question going back to the NFT play to earn space right now. We
Hmm.
are both aware that there are a lot of scams and a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah, for sure.
unscrupulous bad people creating projects that are sometimes seemingly good, but at the end of the day, they just rug. For example, we have this I recall just two games. One of the games that I would mention right now, it's actually the favorite game of my wife,
Mm.
SPU. Then it got rugged. And
Oh,
another,
what's it called?
it's called Spaceport.
Oh,
Spaceport.
Spaceport.
Yeah, my
Uh,
wife loves that game. It could have been a really good game, but somewhere between somewhere down the road, somebody got greedy and,
mm.
robbed people. Another one that hasn't even really given us a chance to play, but fellow YouTubers also featured in their channels was, I think it's called Warship, and a lot of people lost money from there. It looks
Hmm.
it looks good on the surface. That's why people probably reviewed it, and probably people put their money on it. But at the end of the day, boom, money gone. Bye bye, kids. So yeah. My
Yeah,
question
yeah.
here right now is, what makes Legends of Venari different from this projects?
That's a really good question in terms like why something could be rugged. I'm not sure about like the other projects. I haven't like talked with them. Don't understand what they did. One of the things that we're doing is we're not launching a token on launch, right? We're just allowing people to buy these alpha passes, and that's kind of our initial momentum to get the game started. It's not a crazy amount of money to us. It's only going to give us like a couple of months of runway at max, right? And so the kind of incentives that we're building into Legends of Venari is the idea that the Venari themselves should have value, right? It's not a token. It's not something like, okay, well, we're going to release a token and then make a whole bunch of bank and run off with that money. What we're doing is we're providing people with the opportunity to catch these like rare exclusive Venari that they can trade amongst themselves in our secondary marketplace. So our incentive as a company to make sure we do well is very different from like another company, right? What we want to do is we want to provide value for these Venari. We want to make sure people trade, right? That's how our business kind of make money, right? We want to make sure that we provide value to the like people actually playing the game. And so that way interests are aligned, right? We're not going to run away with the money. We're not like, that's kind of like, we don't have much money to run away from. What we bank on is like having people play the game, having people trade amongst themselves. That's kind of like where the real money is. And once like the interests are aligned, like it's kind of like a no-brainer in terms of like why we won't kind of like rug people, right? And so it's kind of like the different kind of incentives. The value isn't from a token. The value is from the Venari themselves.
From the game itself that runs, I mean, from the Venari that's being played in the game itself, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like a couple like the first kind of monetization aspects of the game in terms of how we're able to expand is like, yeah, we're going to have a secondary marketplace. We're going to like make money off of like the fees. And everything that we're going to do is going to try and like promote this kind of like exclusivity, promote this kind of like trading, and allowing people to have that kind of liquidity within our marketplace.
All right. So before we talk about the economic tokenomics and then the play to earn aspect, let me just give a follow-up question to that. So we've differentiated Legends of Venari from those Kami projects. Now let's differentiate Legends of Venari from the legit projects. Now, you know, we have projects like let's say Illuvium, for example. That one has, you know, one of the AAA fields as well. And you know, Monster Infinite, one of the hottest current releases right now. People are, you know, clamoring to it. So what's the advantage, or what do you say, what we could say, you know, what do you think is the ace or the unique selling point for Legends of Venari right now compared to the other projects that are legit this time?
I think that's a really good point in terms of how we want to distinguish ourselves. And it really goes back into kind of our core values. So I've talked about this many times in like a couple of different like streams I've been a part of. But the idea is to stand out from the crowd. We kind of want to design Legends of Venari from the ground up. And so we kind of have these like three key core values that we want to follow. First, as you have seen, we want to make sure the art or everything is high quality. So we really focused on the design of the creatures, making sure that there's an actual world, there's lore, there's kind of like uniqueness to it that makes people attracted to these creatures, that make people have that kind of, this kind of bond with these creatures. You know, like maybe this is like the first Venari you've ever caught. You're probably not gonna like sell it, right? Or it's probably going to be special to you in some way, shape, or form. So that's kind of like our first key value. Our second key value is the idea of creating a fun, quality game. Fun is really hard to define. I think fun is definitely really difficult. But the idea with thoughtfulness and fairness is the idea that, sure, we're going to have a token in the future, but we're going to make sure that it's truly fair to everyone playing. What we mean by that is there's really going to be no pay to win aspects in the game. If you're a mega whale, you're going to have the same kind of opportunities to catch these Venari as someone else. So kind of moving back into like the Bitcoin space, right? Everyone has fair odds. If you own like kind of like the miner rig, you're gonna have like a chance to catch Bitcoin. So kind of similar in this space, I wanted to bring that kind of philosophy over. Everyone who has an alpha pass can catch Venari. It's just a bit more different, right? It's just like the idea of this kind of race, this kind of like knowledge in terms of how you want to play the game. Sure, you could like catch a whole bunch of like the pig creatures, or you could like hoard some Venari, or you could like optimize your gameplay, like expand and like race to the end game, right? So there's kind of like different ways you can go about it. So that's kind of like where we are thinking. We're really trying to build this game from the ground up. It's trying to be like truly fair. We're not launching with a token. We're really like launching just with Venari and passes, right? Usually remember this, but like I have like 3 core values.
Yeah. Go ahead, don't worry. It happens when we are live, you know. It happens to me sometimes. I get to recite everything off stream, but when I go on stream, it like, okay, wait, I know this. What happened? Anyway, yeah. So
yeah. So
yeah,
I remember.
Did you get it?
The third are like the third core value for us is definitely like community. Like we're really trying to build with the community. So from everything in terms of how we present ourselves to actual like designing and building the game, we're really like trying to differentiate from these kinds of other games, right? For example, these kinds of like ideas that we have in our head, we might not build it. We might ask our community for feedback, right? We don't know what's going to, or we don't know what's successful in the space. We have a general idea of like what we want to build. And so that's kind of our initial first step in terms of launching. But in the future, for example, PvP, open world, we kind of don't know where we want to go with that. We have a general idea. Sure, we could like do this kind of battle system, that, but we really want to make sure we get the community involved in that decision making. We want the community to be involved to like figure out like what kind of Venari to add next, for example. Like we have Discord votes all the time in terms of, okay, what kind of Venari? Do you guys want bear? Do you guys want a dragon? What kind of like Venari do you want to see in the game? So they kind of like pick for us. So that's kind of like where we kind of differentiate ourselves. So yeah, those are our 3 core values.
All right. So quality, in the design, in the when you say design, it doesn't mean just like art design, guys. When you say design, you actually design the universe, you design the lore, you design the story behind it, you design the characters itself, the art and everything. So design in its totality is a much bigger thing, guys. So finally, and of course, second, the quality, fun game, no pay to win. I really appreciate that anybody with an alpha pass could just get as much Venaris, right? They could get and catch
an equal opportunity.
An equal opportunity, yeah. And finally, the community. You guys are building stuff with the community. You have your backbone plan out there, and then the community jumps in to share their thoughts, and from the suggestions that you give them, they select which one you push forward with. I like that. Yeah,
exactly.
We have a few questions here right now, which is I think people are getting interested right now to check out the game. So first, let's talk about entry point to the game.
Sure.
How much are we talking about for people to come in and enjoy the game with the play to earn mechanics activated?
Yeah, so we're going to be having our second sale roughly a week before our game launch. That's kind of our plan. So around early December is our sale, and what we're targeting is around 0.1, 0.12 for an alpha pass. I think it really depends on the market dynamic. We have to really see like how ETH moves to kind of like plan for the pricing.
So this is gonna be on the main net,
Yeah. So it's a
All right.
mainnet sale.
Ethereum mainnet, guys. But after, putting in that fund, getting that alpha pass, technically after that, it's, no need to be concerned about spending more gas fee, because
Yeah, there's
when
no.
playing the game, it's literally free on the transaction
Yeah,
side.
exactly.
All right, all right.
Yeah,
So
so it's
early
your one
December.
ticket to catch like unlimited NFTs.
Mhm. All right, so alpha pass that way. Stake, will there be like staking on NFTs for people who just want the NFTs for collection but doesn't really have time to
Uh,
play?
yeah, I mean, like, sure, we can add it, but I think like for any kind of decision that we make, like I don't know, like staking, kind of like I don't know, just like any kind of DeFi protocol that we might add, bonding curves, whatever, like that we might throw at this project, we have to be very careful about why we want to do something and is it aligned with what we want to do in terms of our core values. So, sure, we can build it, but does it provide anything in terms of elevating the gameplay? Does it provide anything in terms of or is it just like an economic incentive? So that's kind of like where we kind of think of things. Sure, like play to earn games. A lot of the times, you kind of think of it as okay, how much money can I make, right? The
Yeah.
ROI of things. But like when I kind of think of play to earn, it's really about tokenization. It's really about like the idea of owning something, the idea of like earning an asset with time spent. It might take hundreds of hours for you to grind to catch that Venari. Some people might like look at you and think like, oh wow, that's a big flex, right? That's where the value that I kind of see is in our game, and it's not really about like the tokens. It's not really about like staking. Sure, we can add that in the future, but it's not like a priority for us at the moment.
All right, all right. So people are now asking about the play to earn aspect. Can you enumerate the ways people can interact with Venari and basically the ways to earn for people playing this?
Yeah. So I kind of touched upon it in the first, originally, but the idea is the value is in the Venari. So we kind of want to make sure these Venari kind of do have value, right? So you could kind of think of it as what are we doing to make sure these Venari feel or have demand. So you could think of as okay, one of the things is we could serialize Venari, right? First 100 Venari ever caught will have like a cool like number 1 to 100 badge. We could have like a Genesis tag for each Venari caught in the alpha season. So our alpha season is between early December to February. So during this period, like kind of alpha Venari will be caught. And afterwards, in our season 1, most of these like Venari caught in the alpha season, the pool that you can kind of catch it from will disappear. So you won't be able to catch a lot of these Venari that you originally could have caught before. That's kind of like how we plan things to make sure it does have value over time. The other thing is, a lot of these will be limited supply, right? 1 out of 500 Venari, stuff like that, making sure it's not like very simple, like, okay, I'll click this button a couple of times and I'll be able to catch it. It's more like you really got to think like, what do I need to do to like catch this creature? Like what can I do to optimize to have like the highest chance of catching this creature?
So there will be
kind of
like theory crafting in a sense to
yeah,
get that creature.
exactly. Yeah.
Just like how you fight, because one of the games that have blown up in the recent years was a Monster Hunter, right? You don't defeat a monster just because you button smash. You have to think what patterns and what kind of equipments you should be wearing, what kinds of potions you should have in your inventory, things like that.
yeah,
In a sense.
exactly.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
that's kind of like what we want to do, because like our first kind of step in terms of launching the game to have like a good impression is people are earning Venari. They're not earning tokens. So what can we do to make sure these have value and these get traded in the open market? The second way of kind of earning is the idea of like base passes, right? So we have 3,750 alpha passes up front. This is like the max number of people that can play in our alpha. 3,750.
3,750 for the alpha pass.
Yeah, for the alpha pass. So that's like the total supply. So anything else would be considered a base pass. So you kind of earn base passes with alpha passes. And the idea is with alpha passes, these are kind of like our exclusive early access people. We want a limited number of people playing our game, giving us quality feedback. We don't want like a large amount of people playing our game to start, because you kind of like, you can't filter out the information as much. So we want to have this like core group of people that we can like bounce back ideas, right? It's just like, okay, how do we like balance this aspect? Maybe we adjust this part. I mean, it is alpha, right? We're only going to do so much testing, but it's really about like the community giving us quality feedback that we really value. And we want to reward people who actively play our game, right? So the idea is, with the alpha pass, you roll kind of a number between 1 and 7, and that's the number of obtainable base passes you can get in total. So for example, if someone rolls a 5, that means with their alpha pass, they can obtain a max of 5 base passes. So essentially with one purchase, you're getting like 6 passes in total, only like if you actively play. So the idea is, every month as you play the game, you kind of like generate a base pass. But it's like we kind of want to make it so we're rewarding people who actively play the game, who have this kind of like ambassador, who kind of like are our ambassadors, and who are kind of like growing our audience organically, right? If no one's playing our game, no one's getting base passes, our game's dying. If everyone's playing our game, like, we kind of like grow more organically that way. And that's kind of the way we envision our system.
All right. So if I understand this correctly, for example, you gift me because it's my birthday, I get an alpha pass. For example, I'm not insinuating, but you know, okay, just for example, just for laughs, I get an alpha pass, right? And I get to play the game. By playing the game, I then activate, or I'm able to generate base pass. And with this base pass, I could activate other players to use this base pass for me, and they'll be able to play.
Yeah, you can lend out base passes as well. You can sell on the open market. They're essential NFTs as well.
So this is technically like in other games, this is like me breeding or cloning.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like alpha passes are like mystic axes, and then like base passes, we're going to have a whole bunch. They're just like regular axes. So that's kind of how we want to grow our community.
All right, so with one alpha pass, technically it's RNG, right? How many base pass we are able to produce with this, or is it fixed number?
So it is like an RNG number of max numbers, but it's like base passes can also obtain more base passes. So it's like base passes are kind of inflationary by nature. We kind of want people to play the game, but we also want to, once we get to that stage of like base passes, like generating additional base passes, we kind of want to, you know, how kind of Bitcoin has like a difficulty bomb. We kind of want to do something similar to make sure like it's not like growing at it and like an insane amount. So
yeah, so it's not linear, you know.
It's not exponential. Hopefully, like
it's
gonna like
higher.
Originally it might be exponential with a lot of people playing the game. But as we like get to that stage of base passes, generating more base passes, we kind of want to like make it a bit more difficult for people to get more base passes.
All right. So the earlier people get to play this, of course, the acquiring of base pass would be easier. Up until the time we are flooded with lots of people, then you know it becomes harder and harder to get the base pass, which is understandable. Anyway, before we continue, guys, at the end of the show, we are going to give away alpha pass. So don't go away, stay in the channel, keep on chatting, and in a few minutes I'm gonna roll again for another winner here. So just keep on chatting, guys. We're gonna give away an NFT drop here. All right. So here's another question that's been popping off right now in the chat is will there be a danger of bots coming in holding alpha pass and just grinding for base passes?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. For us, when we're designing our system, we specifically make sure we at least like account for bots. We can't like avoid bots for sure, right? And that if there's money to be made, I kind of assume people are going to abuse that. People are going to do
True.
whatever they can to make it the most optimized. So what we do is we kind of make it a knowledge game. It's kind of like with a bot, you can only get so smart. You can only click so many buttons. And how we design our system is you kind of imagine as like a player having a lot more knowledge over the game, right? You kind of learn as you progress. It's like, okay, in this area with this bait, I see this creature. And I specifically want to target that creature. With a bot, it's really difficult to, like, as you progress through the game, figure out like which creatures to you like catch, which creatures to use. And you're probably like gonna have worse catch odds. So actually you're gonna have like a worse chance with a bot than like if you're actually just playing the game. The second thing that we do is we have an energy system in place, so the active users have like the same kind of opportunity and chance as a bot. That's kind of like how we want to design a system is, okay, in a certain given time, like 10 hours, you could just like play a game for a couple of minutes and have the same kind of opportunity as some like bot who's like playing the
Grinding
game
24 hours.
Yeah. So we kind of don't want to incentivize that kind of behavior where it's just like you can grind 24 hours a day. So we kind of want to make sure that it's fair for the average player to have the same kind of experiences of the bot. So actually, given a time frame, you're probably going to make more optimized moves than a bot. You're probably going to be catching more creatures than a bot. And at the end of the day, like if we disincentivize that, more people won't be using bots is kind of what we're kind of thinking. It's mainly because your time is valued, right? It's not going to take a long time to play the game, and you're going to get a lot more value out of it if you just actually play the game versus just like grinding on it. Yeah.
Okay, so the ecosystem works that way, bot-wise. So here's another question. Since people will be getting alpha passes and some people will be, be given base passes through those alpha passes, and this base passes, you could sell them or you could activate other players. Now, let's go back to the essence of the game, the soul of the game, the Venaris. Once we get our Venaris, what activities can we do with our Venaris?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest question besides one game. It's one utility for these Venari. So we kind of want to focus on the collectability first and foremost, at least like for the first little while of our game. So Alpha Season 1, you kind of expect it's more towards collecting these Venari. When we're thinking of in terms of what we want to put out, we want to put out a quality product. We want to make sure it's a self-sustained game loop. What we mean is like the game functions by itself. It's an actual game, right? You don't really need a battle system to call it a game. It's still like a game by itself. Adding a battle system on top of that is just like an additional feature is how I kind of envision it. So yes, we definitely want to incorporate some kind of PvP. We definitely want to incorporate some kind of open world, but that takes time. We want to make sure we do it right. We want to do it properly. So you kind of expect it that we're starting to build it out, maybe season 2. And then that's going to, I think that's like a good timeline in terms of where we are in terms of the community, what they want to expect. Because right now we haven't even launched a game, right? So we kind of don't know what the community is like, what kind of like things they're expecting from these Venari. We can go down another route, right? We could go down more the collectability route. We could like add in a whole bunch of like showrooms, like make it more collectability focused, or we could like go down the PvP route, the competitive route. So it's really about like what we can do with it afterwards. And I think like it's easy to build out a system and initially, right? It's super easy to build out like, I don't know, a turn-based PvP game from the web, but it's hard to make it look good. It's hard to make it like stand out, and it's hard to make it fun. So that's kind of like where we stand on things. We don't want to put out something that we're not proud of. So that's why I want to reiterate that it's probably going to take a bit more time, but we'll probably do like a good job on it in terms of like making sure it's balanced, making sure it's fair.
All right. So to summarize that, we are looking at collectability in the beginning, and then you guys who are working on, whether the community steers it towards those ways, but PvP and open world. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're leaning towards. Yeah.
All right. That's nice. Okay, speaking of, since we're at the topic of the game, collectability, PvP, open world, things like that, do you think it's a good time to show us some leaks now?
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely share my screen, and then we can go from there. So you've guys seen like our kind of trailer, right? It's like, it's a render, right? I'm sorry to say, it's not real. It's like kind of like faked. It's like an animation. So what we've been working on is like the actual thing. So these are like actually in the website. So the first thing that I want to show off is, are you able to see our screen here?
Yeah. Okay. Before, while it's loading, let me draw a winner for our NFT drop. So this is NFT drop, not the alpha pass yet. Okay, the alpha pass goes later. NFT drop, Mitsuki Ackerman, ! Contact, and you'll be able to see a link there from Nightbot. Contact me, let me know that you won an NFT airdrop from Legends of Venari AMA stream. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna increase our screen now, the size of our screen here, so people would be able to see what you're actually giving us as leaks. All right, you're ready.
Yeah,
Jason,
awesome.
go ahead.
Yeah, so even like people in my community, they haven't seen this yet. So this
is the first time?
Yeah, this is the first time for pretty much everyone
we're so
to
lucky
like see
in this channel.
yeah. So this is kind of I would call it like the dashboard screen. Like this is kind of what you can expect in terms of actually, I'm gonna go from the beginning. So the idea is you have different kind of locations that you're able to travel to. For example, right now you're in Professor's lab in the region Aina. And so you kind of have these 6 squares, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What happens is, in terms of gameplay, you're able to set a bait, and what bait do is like you kind of consume the bait and it attracts different creatures. So you kind of, once you consume the bait, a timer starts. Usually it's about 15 minutes, but right now this is like a test, so it's a bit shorter. And essentially, like once you like set the bait, so I'll show you like the demo. So for example, here it's setting meat scraps, and then so certain Venari will pop up. We're still working on the design of it. We're still working on finalizing it, but as you can see, like we're working hard in terms of polishing, right? Like you kind of see like these effects, like these kind of particle effects in the web. So that's like something that it's like the little details that make the world kind of pop that we like pride ourselves with, like this like kind of like trees popping up, and just like the overall atmosphere. So as you can see, as like the cooldown times out from like 4 minutes right now, usually it's like 15 minutes, like certain Venari will pop up. And then, yeah, this is all happening from our backend, right? This isn't like a render. This is like live, right? We have our gold system, we have energy, we have levels, we have the server time. So these are all like, this is part of our game. This is like real. So we're still like working out the UI for everything, but you can kind of see like the demo at least of like certain Venari popping up. And this is just like a demo to show like the bait working and like Venari are popping up from our backend. For those who are like watching, this is completely fake. Like these meat scraps in this location and these creatures, they're not like actually what's gonna appear. But yeah, the other thing is, once you like click into it, you kind of like get into like the setup bait screen, and then actually the expedition screen, which I'll show a bit later.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like kind of the first leak that I wanted to show you guys. The second leak this is what I showed in the Venari hang. So this is kind of like our early users who bought like in our first pass. But this is the like location screen. And so we were working on what like the animations for everything, making sure it's smooth. So this is kind of like the animations in terms of, okay, as you like go to different locations, like these are all working, right? As you like travel, you can like see different locations. A lot of these locations are fake right now, where we're still like finalizing the details of everything, but this is just to show the foundation of everything working. So right now we have 2 locations, Ekta and Ayuna Ridges. As you can see, like the first one's like the blue region, the second one's like the mountainous one with the birds. And yeah, every region has like a couple of different like locations that you can visit. And so yeah, we really pride ourselves with the animation and quality of like making sure it all works properly. So yeah, that's kind of like our second demo. Just to like get you guys like an idea of like what we're actually building and where we are in terms of our development. And then I think the final like leak that we'll do is kind of like the actual like game, like the scene itself. The actual game in terms of like catching mechanics, that's still being worked on, but I can at least like show you guys the scene. So this isn't to render. This is like actually what you will see on web. This is what you'll see on your mobile device. It'll probably be a lot smaller in terms of over here. But this is kind of the screen that you'll see. So for example, here, we can like get the camera in. And what happens is like, this is exactly what you'll see. We'll have a lot of like UI. It might not, I don't know if like the stream is capturing the quality correctly, but it's like really high resolution. It's like the FPS is really smooth for me. But yeah, this is kind of like what you'll be able to see, what kind of like UI you'll be able to, you'll be able to have a couple of buttons to like try and catch this creature essentially. So for example, you could like not catch it and then it'll do like kind of like a animation for missing. So yeah, we'll show that again. Sorry, it's kind of like lagging with, but yeah, we have quite a few creatures. For example, this is like the harder to get one, right? This is like this one's like super hard to get, but this is like
so there's like a version of a creature as well. This looks like a more dope version, for example, of like a more evolved.
Yeah, this one's going to take quite a long time to get, but yeah, as you can see, this is like the miss animation, and then this is the catch animation. So we have, for every creature, we have like an idle, we have a miss, and we have a catch animation. So it just goes to show like we have 20 creatures, right? That's like 60 animations, and each creature needs to be rendered for like 5 different like textures too. So we'll show a couple more. For example, this is like the Eris.
Nice.
What we can do is like make the scale a bit bigger. It's not really accurate right now. And then we can like also change the glow intensity too, like if it's like not correctly. But yeah, it's just like for each creature, you can like see it missing or you can like see it catching. So we can like do a couple more creatures just to like see like what we've been working on, because we have so many different creatures that you can collect, even for Eris, right? And there's like a couple different colors. For example, this one's like the nature one, and this one's like more like the blue one. So we have for each one, there's just like so many different variations to kind of catch. And yeah. So yeah, I think what we can do is like from this list, you can like pick like 3, and I'll show them. Wait, do you get? Wait, I don't think you see the. Yeah, you guys don't see the drop down, right?
Yeah, I don't see the drop down.
Okay, never mind. What I'll do is instead I'll just like pick 3 that we haven't done before at least. So let me see here. So we'll do Kurum. I think that's one that we haven't done before. So as you can see, like Kurum has like different effects too.
And I can see a
This is
reflection effect also there.
yeah, I mean, like the level of detail, we made sure like the floor is reflective. I think that's one of the big things that I asked for is like making sure that the landscape is well optimized. So it's just like there's not too much scene loading up, and it should be like really optimized at least for mobile. There's like the glow as expected, and there's like the reflection too. So the amount of detail we go into like for each kind of creature, we spend a long time on it. We'll do a couple more. I think your Reese is one that we have done. So this is like a caterpillar one, and you can see like it jump when it misses. Yeah.
Wait,
then,
I don't know if Bromo Cryptolade is actually asking for an actual beautiful cat, or do you have a cat in in Venari? I'm not sure if he's asking. Do you have an actual cat living with you?
We do, but I locked them out of the room right now.
All right. So probably
Yeah.
he's show us your beautiful cat is saying. So I just got confused a little bit about there. Is he talking about a real cat or a cat in game?
They're out right now. Maybe next time.
All right. No problem.
Yeah.
If we catch too many similar monster, can we fuse them to have a stronger one?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a big question in terms of how we want to do it, but we definitely want to make sure that there's some kind of burning mechanism. Otherwise, like their inventory, you kind of like just keep growing your inventory, right? We probably won't have it in our initial launch just because just something that we're not going to prioritize at the moment. But probably a couple weeks down the line, we'll have some kind of burning mechanism. In terms of like burning to fuse them together, I think that's kind of where we're going as well. We want to make sure that you're catching creatures for a purpose, right? If you're catching like this caterpillar creature, it probably means you have like a super rare caterpillar creature, and so you want to catch this like more sucky version of this caterpillar to fuse into that creature. So, but when we do want to implement levels, we want to do it with a purpose, right? So that's kind of where we have PvP stats play into effect. Right now, we don't have PvP, so there's no need for levels. There's no kind of need for like fusing. So that's kind of where we think of things.
But it's it's mapped out there in the future when it is needed at the right timing.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Please go ahead and continue our showcase.
we'll show like two more, and then we'll call for this section.
Sure.
Let me see what we haven't shown yet.
I probably should select my favorite.
Yeah. So this is something that I haven't shown anyone yet. This is probably not even going to be in our alpha season. This is just going to be probably season 1 or later on. But oh shit.
Is that like a shark?
Yeah. So some kind of like fish kind of like creature we'll also have. But probably won't be in this environment, and it'll probably be somewhere else.
Probably in the when you release your aquatic
stage.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, so you kind of like imagine like Shark Venari in the future. Yeah, and then we'll do one more. Let me see. Yeah, I think a lot of people have seen this in our leaks.
Oh, what's that? What kind of is that like a dog or a wolf?
Yeah, so I would consider it like a hyena.
Hyena. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes more sense.
Just like it's just like a really interesting looking creature. So this is kind of like the mist animation. I really like this like design actually.
Yeah, that looks like a hellhound.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different like colors to it too.
And so
then,
the colors in the future would be so you've shown us a lot of colors, right? would they be related to the rarity? Like every,
Hmm.
let's say for example, red, they are the more rare ones, or is it random?
Yeah, so we do associate their color with the element. So we have
Okay.
6 elements in the game. We have fire, earth, air, water. Like the Avatar: The Last Airbender, like fire,
Mm-hmm.
air,
Mm-hmm.
earth, water, and then we also have nature and ice currently. So we have 6 elements right now. It's up to you to kind of figure out like what's rare, what's not. We kind of won't
Mm-hmm.
like tell you
Mm-hmm.
about it. But yeah, the colors kind of indicate like what element it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we're really looking at, we're preparing for something that's gonna be what they call this deep in the future, because permutation and probability wise, right, when you have 6 elements there, just prepare for something that's gonna be, in a sense, something good
Yeah,
to
yeah.
theory craft about.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like if you kind of imagine like EV, it's like each Venari is like an EV. It just has like 6 different forms to it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, one question I was not able to ask about the base pass. Would the
Yeah.
price be dictated by the developers, or is it gonna be depending on whatever the community puts out there, like the alpha
Yeah,
pass
so I
holders?
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, so we aren't selling base passes, right? Like each pass, each base pass is earned by the community. So that's kind of like from secondary market and like how they dictate it. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
imagine it as like determining it's your ticket into the game, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's really dependent on the value of these Venari. That's kind of like what the value of like the base pass is kind of worth. So that's kind
Mm-hmm.
of where I imagine the value of these base passes being. But I have no idea. I don't control the market.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Mitsuki Ackerman, I hope you have not forgotten exclamation point contact on the chat, so that you could send me your details. You won one of the airdrops that Legends of Venari is giving away for us. All right, so exclamation point contact, help us out if you are familiar, guys, with how our giveaway works. Help Mitsuki here get his or her details. I don't know if Mitsuki is for a boy or a girl. Anyway, yeah. So I've been holding you for quite some time right now. So let's wrap this session up
Yeah, yeah,
with
sounds good.
with a few more questions which are important. So let's talk about roadmap and important dates that people need to prepare for. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna put it here. Roadmap. Yeah. So yeah, question is, what important dates should we be preparing for?
Yeah, so essentially our sales probably like the most important date to us. We kind of want to make
Mm-hmm.
sure we have eyes on that. We haven't finalized the date on that mainly because it's just really uncertain in terms of like integration, right? We have all these kinds of moving pieces that I've shown you guys our progress, and we kind of want to make sure it's connected. We want to test it well. We kind of want to make sure it's well balanced before we get into the hands of you guys. So what we're thinking is early December. So that's probably around 2 to 3 weeks of time. It gives us like 2 weeks of development time and like 1 more week of testing if need be. And that's kind of like when you can expect the sale. 1 week after is kind of when we expect to launch our game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also around that time. It's early December. Um, some other important dates is the end of the season. We kind of want to make sure the alpha season lasts a certain amount of time before we switch to our next season and we release a whole bunch of new creatures. So like these creatures that we're first releasing, they feel valuable to these initial people who are testing our game. So that's probably around February. And then
Mm-hmm.
afterwards, each season should be around 3-4 months time with like new Venari popping up, old Venari getting removed.
Mm-hmm. 3 to 4 months length. Okay, a new dawn says here, additional gameplay, crafting, travel, and more, advanced tokenomics to play. define association utility to Venari through a unique battle system. Player-owned land to catch Venari, open world gameplay, exclusive
Yeah,
in-person
yeah.
events, merch, plushies, and more. So these are for the coming future, like the vision.
Yeah, it's a lot of this is the vision. We're still at the like first phase, and
All
we're
right, so
slowly
we're
gonna
still
get
at the
there. Yeah,
Genesis stage right now.
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, we
So
haven't launched our
on to
game
the
yet.
metaverse, provide a robust developer SDK, catch Venari from any platform. When you say any platform, what does this mean?
Yeah, so I kind of envision like the metaverse as its kind of own thing in the future. We kind of want to make sure that people who we work with, whether that's like other companies, for example, Sandbox, Zenderland, whoever is like the next big metaverse, they have the opportunity of integrating Venari into their system. So, for example, maybe like you stroll through the metaverse and then you have like this opportunity to catch something. We want to work with them to make sure that it's fair and balanced as well. And then so it's
Mm,
kind of like works on both sides. So that's kind of what I mean by developer SDK, because you kind of need that kind of integration stage. But I think that's like long term, but it's just
long,
something that
long
we need
way
to
from
think.
now.
Yeah, I mean, like I
Okay.
feel like metaverse is still very early too.
All right, all right. Cool, cool, cool. So yeah, and here collaborations and more, including Sandbox and Decentraland. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I like that Decentraland and Sandbox integration, since Sandbox is already rolling out with their alpha test, I think.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So those are the dates to remember, guys. So December it is then for us people who want to follow Legend of Venari. Anyway, we are going to give out our alpha giveaway in a
Let's
few
go.
minutes, guys. Keep the chat rolling now. This is your chance. Chat while I ask Jason here the final question, and after that we're just gonna roll for the winner. So yeah, keep the chat active, guys. That's your only way to join the giveaway for that sweet alpha pass. Okay. Yeah. All right, so let's do this. Just keep on chatting. Ready for Venari. Put in chat, ready for Venari. All right, no, let's change it a bit. Let's put it Venari to the moon. Put that in chat, Venari to
Yes.
the moon. Okay, so yeah, here's the final question, Jason. Right now, I'll just encourage people to go over to Discord, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, guys. You can find the things there. You can probably request for the white paper or light paper or pitch deck from within there. I believe the
Yeah.
Discord is the most active for people right now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're always around Discord, and if you guys have any questions, you can always like go to the Ask Us Anything channel, and we'll answer any
Mhm.
other questions you have there.
All right, cool. So the final question right now, Jason, is um, actually two questions. Sorry for that.
Yeah, sure.
First, before we draw the winner, um, can you tell us what you personally get from working on Legends of Venari, so that we could
Oh
just
yeah,
see your ethos, how you want to approach this thing on a personal level.
yeah. I mean, I think that's going a bit deep here, but like it for people who like are on Discord, right? They kind of like see me there, like any time of the day. Like it's like it kind of drives me to work on this project. Um, I would say like everyone on the team has like a major role on it. It's not just me. From We have a pretty big team actually. We have like over 10 people working on this full time, and everyone um, like contributes, right? Whether it's just like through Discord on their own time, everyone just like is in our team especially is just super hyped to actually like launch this game. From our development team, art team, game design team, everyone is just like super excited to be working on this project. For me personally, in terms of like where I see LOV, it's kind of like for me, it's really not about the money. That's why I didn't want to introduce a token. That's why I didn't want to like sell Venari like straight up. I want to make sure that it's moving in the right direction. I want to make sure that the earnability is from people putting in their time, hard work to kind of like catch these Venari. And so that's kind of where we want to go about it. So yeah, it's really about moving the space forward for me. I've been in this space, blockchain gaming space, 2019, right? I've seen like a lot of things. I'm a blockchain developer. I like to build things, and this is kind of like something that I really am passionate about. I have a lot of like people come up to me and say, okay, you guys should launch a token. You guys should like get some funding. But I think like for me personally, it's just I kind of want to take the hard route. It's not easy like doing this. A lot of this money is like out of pocket, right? Like without funding, without a token, it's hard sometimes. We have a pretty big team, but we want to make sure we're going down like a good path, and so that's kind of like where I stand on things. You see me on Discord at like 5 a.m. a lot of the times. It's just like, yeah, it's a lot of my time going into this project.
Nice. You know, I just want to clarify because I read here in this chat, you know, I kind of I'm getting like, you know, let me just extend this. You know, somebody saying here, puro promises, like it's all promises gaming again and another cash grab. I just want to point out, you know, they haven't even sold any of the tokens or whatever. They're just going on with Alpha Pass. And to say that this is a cash grab, guys, they already poured in. Just imagine how much money Jason has poured into this project, even without selling anything as of yet. You know, I mean, getting a team that big that could produce something like this, I don't think it's fair for our guest to be labeled as cash grab right now, guys. I mean, you know, if you want something that is not promises, go to Axie. It's already playable. Go, right? But for me, featuring something like a project like this, you know, who has spent their own money as of now to get things running, you know, I don't think that's a cash grab move. Anyway, the final question is, what's your final message for people who are here watching right now? Both for people who are seeing Venari for the first time and for people who have been in your community for quite some time now.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I just want to say thank you, all of you guys, for like tuning into this stream. I really appreciate you guys. For me, I think like for my final words, at least, I think if you guys want, this goes back to one of our core values, but if you guys want to play something different, something where it's like truly fair, like LOV is probably your game to play. We really focus in on our game design. We really focus in on making sure it's fair, whether it's a whale, whether it's your first time playing, you're going to have an equal opportunity. You could kind of think of it as a race, right? Whether you're starting the season out as a beginner, whether you have a ton of money, you're still going to have an equal opportunity to play, to catch these creatures, and the same odds as everyone else. I think that's really important, and yeah, I think that's kind of like where we stand from the crowd.
All right, so there you have it, guys. Thank you very much, Jason, for being here. Let's draw our next winner. Our winner for our Alpha Pass right now is 3, 2, 1. Estrada Lionel G! Exclamation point contact.
Okay.
You know the drill, guys. Congratulations, Jason. By the way, bro, thank you
Yeah,
very
thank
much
you.
for you know, sharing the story of Legends of Venari. I know we planned this session to last for like 40 minutes to 60 minutes, but here we are right now, 90 minutes.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. I hope you enjoyed the session. I hope
it was
the
amazing.
time
Thank you
here.
so much for it was really insightful. Like the questions you asked, you were a great host. I really enjoyed talking with you.
All right. So there you have it, guys. Just a quick rundown. Venari, for me, as I understood it, is built upon three guiding principles: design, the quality, give you a good quality, right? The fun quality game. It's not pay to win, and of course, building with the community. Right now, Venari is gearing up. It's pumping up its gears this coming December. So just watch out. Join their Discord, join their Telegram. I mean, join their Twitter. Follow their Twitter for announcement, and yeah, read their lore. I heard good news about their lore. So yeah, we'll see you again next time. By the way, later Metadana Let's Play Thursday. We're gonna play some games tonight. All right, so see you guys from the stream, and congratulations to our alpha winner, Estrada Lionel. You know, send me your details. You don't want to miss your prize. Bye bye, guys.